What is up, everyone? Welcome to Talk Verde to Me. Today I will be reviewing the Hoka Rincon 4. So the Hoka Rincon 4 has been my daily trainer for the last like 2-ish weeks. I have over 50 miles in it now, so I thought I'd do a review. And happy to say I'm pretty pleased with this shoe. This slots in as Hoka's more like budget-oriented daily trainer. It's $125, which, you know, surprising that it's budget now, but it is. Most daily trainers now are in that $140 to $150 range, so, you know, $125, that's solid. And I think you can find it on sale for $100 already, even though it's brand new, so I got this for $100. And at $100, I think it's a very good value. It's sort of your classic neutral daily trainer. It has 33 millimeters stack height in the heel and 28 in the forefoot for a 5 millimeter drop. So a nice like medium to low heel drop. You know, my preference is I love a 5 or 6 millimeter drop, so this feels great in terms of that. It is a pretty light shoe. It's like just over 8 ounces in a men's size 9. And just like in hand, it feels very light. I think what I'll compare this to the most in this review is the ASICS Nova Blast 4, because that's sort of the other like lighter daily trainer that can be used for up-tempo stuff that I've run in. And this feels lighter than the ASICS Nova Blast 4, both in hand and on foot. Now the cushion in this shoe is a just normal like EVA foam in this white portion, but then it has a rubberized EVA outsole. And so all of this green is, you know, slightly firmer than the white, slightly more responsive, and actually has surprisingly really good grip. I've run in the shoe a lot on some like dirt rail trail, as well as some like iced over bridges, and you know, I thought this grip would be a problem because there's no rubber outsole, it's just a rubberized EVA, but the grip's been amazing, if not better than most rubbers. There hasn't really been too much wear either. Yeah, I think that this rubberized EVA outsole is going to be amazing. So the types of runs that I've brought this shoe on, I basically tested it in every single type of run. I've done like easy zone 1, like 9-minute pace in it. I did a 22-mile long run in it that I'll talk about a little bit more. I've done most of my runs in this shoe have been like zone 2, so for me that's like 7:40 to 8-minute pace. And then I've also done some like, you know, sub-threshold to threshold workout, as well as some like all-out speed, talking like 5 to 5:10 minute pace, even down to like 4:48 pace for some 1-minute reps. And so I think this shoe feels the best at your zone 2 efforts. It's kind of a like very natural feeling shoe. You know, people will talk about like an Ultra feeling as a natural shoe. This is the most natural shoe I've ever felt. It's just like, I think that like the slight rocker, but nothing too dramatic, and the soft landing due to like not having a slappy rubber outsole, I just forget that it's on my foot, which is a great compliment for a shoe, I think. In terms of like really easy paces, it's also great for that. It's not like pillowy soft, you know, you're not gonna, like I have the New Balance Morphe 4, this is nowhere near there. It's much firmer than that, but it's still soft enough to go out for an easy pace. And then I'd say at like threshold efforts, I'm used to running in a plated shoe at threshold efforts, so like it does feel a little bit sloppier for me, but I think that the great lockdown from the upper, it allows it to sort of work at those threshold efforts. I think that if I weren't so like used to and dependent on plated shoes, which is something I'm trying to fix currently, I think it would be a solid threshold shoe. And then it actually, I really enjoyed it at like under 5-minute pace, which for me is like mile efforts. Sometimes the super shoes, or like shoes with a higher stack height, can feel super clunky at those sort of like strides in 1-minute intervals for me, versus this, because it's a little lower to the ground, it felt a lot more natural. So yeah, it's kind of like your classic daily trainer, really good at everything. The one issue that I've had with it was when I took this out on a 22-mile long run, you know, towards the middle to end of that run, so for me around mile 15, my feet started to really like feel fatigued under the ball of the foot. And I think it's just because, you know, it's a little lower stack height than I'm used to for that, and just not as supportive. this is just EVA in the midsole. I think the toes flex a decent amount in here, so I was just getting some fatigue in the ball of my foot and in my toes, and it was fine. I made it to the end of the run, and it was great. And I don't think this was designed to be a super long distance running shoe, but I personally probably wouldn't take this over 18 miles again, and that's just my preference. There was also a lot of hills in there, so maybe it was from pounding on the downhills, but I think it's one limitation of this shoe. I do think that, if you were looking for a non-plated shoe to do all your training and even some racing in, I think that if you're running, 10Ks to half marathons, I think you can be really happy in this shoe. The upper is so simple. I haven't really talked about the upper yet. So it's just one simple piece of engineered mesh around the entire upper, a nice padded heel counter that's not too much. Same with the tongue. It's it's padded, but it's not excessive. It's not a gusseted tongue, but there are sort of lace holders on top. The upper is a little narrow in the toe box, and honestly throughout the whole shoe. If you're in between sizes, you might want to size it up half the size. I went true to size and then size 8, and I'm happy with that, but I think I could have been happy in an 8.5 as well. Yeah, so I've really enjoyed this shoe. I'm going to continue to use it as my main daily trainer until it's sort of time to retire. I don't think the durability is going to be amazing. It hasn't been with the past Rincons, and this still doesn't have any outsole rubber, and I just think that's going to lead to the foam dying a little prematurely. So, normally I retire my shoes after 300 miles. This, for me, might be more like a 250-mile shoe. I know that some people will have issues with that, but, if I'm into shoes, I like to try new shoes, so I'm not too concerned with the durability. Yeah, I would recommend it if you're looking for a simple, no-nonsense daily trainer. If you want something like the Asics Nova Blast, but want it to be a little lower to the ground, a little bit more stable feeling, a little bit more natural feeling, I think this is a great option. And I'd say that this sort of slots in the Hoka's lineup to where it reminds me of what the Hoka Mach 4 and 5 were. Sort of that, the Mach 4 and 5 had, just a rubberized EVA outsole, lightweight, non-plated daily trainer that can pick up the miles, versus the Mach 5 now has a rubber outsole, the Mach 6 now has a rubber outsole, and is a little bit more of a tempo shoe, more of a speed shoe. This feels very akin to the earlier Machs, the Mach 4 and 5, which I think is an amazing compliment. Those were super popular shoes. So yeah, I would recommend this. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please consider subscribing to the channel if you want to watch either about my running or my running shoe reviews that I do, every couple of months whenever I find myself needing to buy a new pair of shoes. Yeah, if you enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and as always, keep on running.